since I've already euthanized 20 minutes of this radio program, whining about how bad the Panthers are, we'll start with it. But I'm not sure we want to spend a lot of time with Will Brinson. Valuable time. We could be talking about actual fun football. Can it get worse, Will, with the Panthers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
fear that it could, yeah.
I mean, you look at the two teams that they played in, so far this season, Arizona's defense maybe a little bit better than it was last year, but I mean, that was bottom 5 of the league last year. Jacksonville couldn't stop Jake Browning, when Joe Burrow got hurt.
Yeah.
And I don't know that the Panthers are going to see a whole lot of defenses that give them more opportunities. Now, I mean, like Bryce Young looks pretty good against, like second string prevent, right?
Yeah.
when you have the backups who aren't trying to stop you, he's looked pretty good. And the Panthers did have a chance to win that game. It would have been an all-time egg by the Cardinals to give that up.
They tried. I thought they were actively trying to lose the game.
I mean, the penalties at the end were unbelievable.
Yeah,
but yeah. I think when you look at like the Panthers were down 7-0 within the first 3 minutes of the. I mean, most of America was watching the Cowboys and the Giants.
Yeah.
I was messing around on my remote, getting the other games up on the second TV, the afternoon games, and I looked at it. I was like, "What? Panthers are already down?"
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh, and the Cardinals haven't had the ball. That's weird." So yeah, it can definitely get worse, and it looks like any optimism. We talked about the variant. Like if everything broke right and Bryce Young took a step and the defense was slightly improved, maybe Carolina has upside of a 9-10 win team that can win the division. Obviously,
you said 11. Right. You said 11 one time.
Yeah, I started with 9 there.
You said
but it's also on the lower end of that band. If things didn't get better, if Bryce Young didn't take a step forward, if the wideouts weren't, if everything didn't break right, the band for the Panthers win total was really low, and right now it looks like it's pretty low.
It is. It looks like it is very low. Their talent level defensively doesn't look very good to me at all. The middle of their defense is essentially non-existent. It's gooey. 56 looks like never mind. I don't want to slam him. It's probably not all his fault. Derrick Brown is a stud. J.C. Horn is obviously excellent. I'm not entirely sure that I like anything else that I have seen from that side of the ball. And I don't understand why Arizona handed it off only 14 times the entire game against a team that had been on 7 straight games of allowing 200 yards or more on the ground. I'm willing to move on from the Panthers for right now, so let's do that. Because at 1:00, I watched. I don't know what I was like. We slipped into the DeLorean. A flux capacitor showed up, and Russell Wilson was transported back almost 10 years to the point where he was virtually unstoppable by the Dallas Cowboys defense, which, honestly, I'm not sure Dallas is all that good defensively, especially when you consider that their top cornerback, Diggs, was absolutely owned by the Cowboys, by the Giants passing game all day long. Russell Wilson was cooking. Are we done? Yeah. Are we done asking for Jackson Dart yet or no?
I mean, for right now, probably. At some point, and we saw Jackson Dart come in for one play. They ran a RPO, which is actually a really nicely timed decision there to get Cam Scatterbo down near the goal line. But I think it's probably for the Giants a matter of wins and losses at the end of the day, right? You have a first round pick who you invested a lot in him. He's a first round pick. He's showed flashes in preseason, and it's just sort of the nature of the game. When you have a coaching staff that was probably on the hot seat and they start the veteran and the veteran doesn't win the games, even if he, I mean, if Russ looks like that every week, he's gonna get
right.
They're gonna keep running their mouth there. I mean, and just hope that the defense gets better. If not, if he looks somewhere in between and the Giants keep losing games, eventually, because the warmth on Brian Dable and Joe Schoen's seat is going to get turned up, they're going to do what coaches have done for the last 30 years, which is say, all right, well, let's give the rookie first-round pick a spin. And at that point, it doesn't matter if you're winning the games, because if the quarterback looks good, and then then we can get into the whole, well, why didn't you start from Jump Street thing, which we'll see down the road. But at that point, if the quarterback looks good, the rookie in Dart, then all of a sudden you can save your job for next season because you have the hope of that rookie quarterback returning. So, I think we're just playing out the string here in terms of that old chestnut as it relates to NFL teams and veteran and rookie quarterbacks.
Will Brinson is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Final drive, Giants needed a touchdown to take the lead. Field goal doesn't do any justice there. And they have Jackson Dart in the game running ridiculous, that package. Mike, Russell Wilson had already thrown for 350 yards and, 2 touchdowns in the game. He was, along with Neighbors and Randolph, your best players. And you got Jackson Dart out there, and then Russell comes in and saves Dable with a touchdown pass to Neighbors, which we could debate all day long what Dallas is doing defensively, how you allow players behind the defense.
Some of the defensive was like these guys were running wide open. But, Russ made some throws.
Awesome.
For sure.
Russell was great.
He made some, except for until he decided to throw a moon ball in overtime and cost him the game.
He was the joke was, we always said let Russ cook. Well, Russ was cooking and then in overtime cooked. Unfortunately,
Then Russ burnt the toast in overtime.
But
unfortunately,
didn't the Giants blow it? When you kick off, I get it. You don't want to kick it in the end zone because the clock doesn't move and the ball comes all the way out to the 35 anyway, and that's basically where Dallas started with 19 seconds on the clock. The Giants can get to the quarterback, and they just sat back knowing that Brandon Aubrey is good from the other side of midfield. And they made it easy.
It's like at that point, Dallas, you see those coaches do this all the time where you're like, all right, we're just going to play. It's like if you play soft underneath, you're going to get them a look somewhere in Brandon Aubrey's range. At least try and just bring the quarterback down or force a bad throw from Dak that leads to some kind of trouble for the Cowboys and hope that put pressure on the opposing offense and hope that they make a mistake. Don't drop back and pray that they can't get in range. That ball was good from 75 yards.
Oh, my gosh. It was absolutely would have been good from another 10. Here's the thing about it, because I think you can go one of two ways. You can either apply pressure to the quarterback or you rush nobody. Just drop 11 into coverage.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought the Bills should have done those many years ago against the Chiefs with 13 seconds left on the clock. Speaking of, by the way, it's just such a fun football game. I don't think Dallas deserved to win. The Giants didn't deserve to win, but we all deserve to watch it. Eagles-Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are in legit trouble because I don't think the Eagles played their best offensive game at all.
No.
And right now you've got the Chiefs and Travis Kelce who's having trouble hanging on to the football. It might be over. That team doesn't seem to have a way out right now offensively. What are your thoughts on what we saw?
Yeah, Chiefs are favorites 5.5 this week as a road favorite. So I would expect that the Chiefs find a way to win this week, but they're definitely in trouble. I mean, this is a team that hasn't been as explosive offensively. It's a lot like the Patriots were. You just had these seasons where they were going to be good, they were going to be in the mix, But sometimes it's not all there. The offensive line certainly improved. I think that's a big win. I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Chiefs got hot once Xavier Worthy's back and Rasheed Rice is back, and you have the full complement of weapons. Like that wouldn't surprise me at all. But yeah, right now the Chiefs are just kind of a middling team, and the big difference is last year, what they went like 7-2 in one-score games or something like that,
right.
And now they're 0-2 to start the season. And those games, those one-score games, and that game could have been a 10-point game easily.
Yes,
Mahomes had kind of a garbage time bomb to Tyquan Thornton, but those one-score games, they are difficult to quote unquote control because football is a weird game. There's a lot of things out of like what you can actually influence, and as a result. You typically see these one-score games migrate back to a median of around 500, where, you win half of them, you lose half of them. And if you're really lucky in those, it's not unusual to be unlucky in those the following season. So I think we may be seeing some regression from that for the Chiefs, who, ran lucky as hell last year. Philly, I thought was... the first 2 weeks from Philly have not been the most impressive in terms of just what they looked like last year going into the playoffs. But they're piling up wins early in the season.
Yep.
They have the formula there. We haven't had to see them be extremely explosive offensively. And even though the defense might not be, the best in football, it's still when they're at their full strength, it's certainly up there. And they're a very, once again, very physical team. You saw it when the game was tied, and
it's 10-10.
They ended up scoring on the tush push. But it's like, all right, we've got the ball in the second half. It's tied. You haven't played that great. We haven't played that great. You're about to get like 15 body blows from Saquon Barkley, and they just start piling up, and eventually, you see him kind of pull away. So I think Philly's just they're a bully ball team. They're going to be physical and beat you up, and if they can win a lot of close games, they're certainly going to be right there at the top of the NFC.
And no doubt. And Jalen Carter didn't spit anybody before the first snap of the game. So, yeah, absolutely. We got a bonus right there. Let me ask you about the Broncos-Colts game.
Indiana Jones?
Yeah. Week 1 was against the Dolphins. I'm not sure we can count that as an actual NFL win. That defense is horrific. Broncos missing the field goal with however much left that would have made it a 5-point game clearly mattered, but maybe it didn't. The Colts look like they've got a formula, at least for now. I'm not one of those people who believes that Daniel Jones is really any different than the Daniel Jones we've watched. He's incredibly inconsistent. So there are going to be tons of games this year where he's awful. But they're 2-0. Again, the Dolphins couldn't stop him, but the Dolphins can't stop anything. I was a little bit surprised that the Broncos defense gave up so much. But obviously the Colts have come to grips with the system that's working for them.
Yeah, and I mean, let's look at the AFC South, right? Houston lost in week one to the Rams. Offensive line is a major problem. The run game is a major problem right now. That's been kind of their bread and butter since they drafted C.J. Stroud. We'll see tonight. I highly doubt they'll be able to run the football effectively against a good Tampa front seven. And if it's, if Houston is kind of struggling to get it done on offense, but has a good defense and wins these low-scoring games in Jacksonville, I mean, boneheaded decision-making, I thought, by Liam Cohen not to kick the field goal and go up 6. I realized, the Bengals scored a touchdown anyway, but, make Jake Browning go 90 yards instead of going for it on fourth down, in my opinion. Jacksonville's definitely got some warts. No surprises there. The Texans don't seem like they're going to be a dominant team, and then Tennessee, good effort from Cam Ward, his second start, but they're definitely going to have a rocky season.
Yep.
Just in that division, something about these high drafted quarterbacks from the Jets and the Giants It's like, if you get him out of New York City, I think Shane Steichen's a good coach. They got a good offensive line. Jonathan Taylor looks really sharp right now. They have a lot of weapons, and the defense is playing some good football under Lou Anarumo. Shout out to Lou Anarumo, Bengals DC, former much maligned Bengals DC, who now is in Indy. So it's like, I don't know, man. You could talk me into the Colts being able to be kind of a problem and a little frisky as long as Daniel Jones prevents the turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. And it might not take a lot of wins to win that division. All right, final thing for
Nine's got it.
Final thing for Will Brinson. And we're going to go, there's really not much to say about Joe Burrow, 3 months, toe surgery, so we're not going to see him probably till December. But my curiosity is really about the Steelers, who I think we saw. Week 1, Aaron Rodgers, maybe a little bit extra juice, looked certainly, I don't think he looked great, but he looked very good. The opposite was true in the game against Seattle. Then, of course, you have the bonehead leave the ball alone for Seattle to run on in the end zone and cover it for a touchdown. That is just the worst. But the truth of the matter is that
rookie running back who's like a fantasy sleeper, probably not going to see the field much in the next few weeks.
It's going to be tough. But to be honest, Pittsburgh's offense was awful. They couldn't really throw it, couldn't really run it. I think Seattle could be good, but to me that was about Pittsburgh's offense not being any good, and their defense is maybe the Jets made the Steelers. The Jets didn't make the Steelers. Maybe the Steelers made the Jets look better.
So I think if you're going to take any of the results from Week 1 a few weeks from now and say, "Wow, what the hell is that game?"
Yeah,
I think it's Steelers-Jets. And the Jets bored out in Week 2. The Steelers bored out in Week 2. Seattle definitely has a top 10 defense, maybe a top 5 defense. Depends on pick your poison. Broncos, Packers, Rams, maybe Texans, maybe Seahawks. We'll see. Just sort of spitballing off the top of my head right now, but I think Seattle's a pretty good team. Jackson Smith and Jigba, great player. It was a tough game for Pittsburgh, but ultimately. To me, we're gonna come away from Week 1 of Aaron Rodgers was incredible, Justin Fields was incredible, and maybe say, okay, that game was a total, aberration. It's just aberration.
There you go.
I was going to go apparition. Maybe it was an apparition.
Could have been.
So that's sort of my takeaway from that. Let's see how the Steelers back it up, but Baltimore. I mean, the class of that division by far and away. And by the way, with the Burrow thing, they may be able to float along a little bit. Tough schedule coming up, and then they don't play the Ravens until December. They get them twice in the final 4 weeks of the season. So good luck with that.
Yeah, Steelers get the Bengals and Browns. They take care of the Bengals and Browns before Joe Burrow comes back. So if the Steelers are going to be a playoff team, they're going to have to make
sweep those games.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Sure.